Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to talk about how to start to use the major pentatonic scale to create some secondary guitar parts. This is a really easy, I guess you could call it a hack, a really easy thing to do. The last student that was in the lesson room tonight was asking how to play with a second guitar player if you're just jamming. So he's going to play at a campground with some other guy who's going to be playing some strumming, like strumming some songs. He wants to know what he can play with it to kind of add to the mix. And I thought, well, a good thing to do is some really easy major pentatonic ideas that you can throw in so you can start to jam with other people. So what we're doing here is simply playing sort of like the My Girl riff. So you look at your first position of the pentatonic scale. Let's say we're in D, for example. And I play this. B minor pentatonic scale. Everybody knows that scale. If you don't know it already, there's a lesson on the channel right here to teach you the 5 positions of the minor pentatonic scale. Take a look at that. This is in B minor. I'm starting on this B note right here. If I start on this D note instead, it becomes D major pentatonic. It sounds like My Girl. And we could get into what the pentatonic scale is and some other stuff theoretically at the moment, but let's talk about how we can use this. So this is outlining a G form in the cage system. So you look at a G chord like this. If I move this up the neck here, keep going. G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. That's a D form. A G form of a D chord. It looks like that. Like if you put a capo on the 7th fret, you'd have a G chord, right like this. If you don't know the caged system, here's a video on the channel right here, one of the first of many on how to learn the cage system. There's an entire series of videos on the channel about learning the caged system. You might want to take a look at that. So this is a G form up here, but it's actually a D chord. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this simple scale, pentatonic scale, but we're going to start this on this note instead. It sounds like that famous, My Girl riff. That's actually in the key of C, but that's the idea. So we can use this, and we're actually playing a D chord. You see, so it's a D chord, but it's a D chord like this. And we're playing the scale through it. So the major scale looks like this. That's not right. That's the major scale, right? If you don't know your major scale patterns, there's a video on the channel right here. We'll show you the 7 major scale patterns, and that's also important. So we've talked about major scales are important to learn, the pentatonic scales are important to learn, and the caged system is important to learn. All of those videos are over there on the lesson channel. Or you can also go to my website too, drewbentley.com, and find all this stuff. So what we're doing is we're going to learn how to, what I call click and drag. So we're in the 2023, right? Everything's computerized. So it's kind of like that. We can click and drag these notes and make some really cool sounds to add a rhythm to this D chord. So if I do this, it sounds a lot like Lights. So I think Neil Schon is maybe the top 5 rhythm guitar players of our lifetime. The guy from Journey, phenomenal guitar player. All this major pentatonic stuff sounds like that, right? So I could play a myriad of examples of riffs. I'll play some of them for you. But the sound, though, is to not play single notes necessarily, but to play multiple notes at the same time and kind of click and drag. I like this so much that 3 of the tunes on my most recent record, Bold Horizon, are based on a major pentatonic riff. It's the happy pentatonic scale. It's one of the greatest sounds there is, and it's not used enough, and it should be. It's right there at your fingertips because it's something you already know. If we're thinking vertically, we can see this G form, right? So if I play the scale like this, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to add some notes to it and hold other notes over like this. So in this case, what I'm doing is the higher string is still resonating while I hammer on from the 7th fret to the 9th fret on the D string. I do the same thing on this string, right? I'm forming the chord. right? So if you look at like, speaking of great rhythm guitar players, Jimi Hendrix is my top 5 rhythm guitar players as well in the world that I live in. Everybody's influenced by different people. Those two guys, Neil Schon and Jimi Hendrix, are really important to me. But as you can see, what Jimi was doing here, he's playing the G form. Like do, re, mi, fa, so like this. He's hammering on into the G form. So we can do that here too. So if somebody's playing this D chord and you're jamming with them, you could go like that. So a lot of songs do that. If you look like Led Zeppelin. So if you said to you tomorrow. That song, what is what shall never be? It goes like. What he's doing here is going. This is that chord, and then it's that chord, right? So the song that Zach wanted to do with his friend, one of the songs was "Dead Flowers," the Rolling Stones. It's a D chord, and an A chord, and a G chord. So diatonically speaking, this is really kind of simple. The D is the 1 chord in the key, G is the 4 chord in the key, and A is the 5 chord in the key. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, si, fa, mi, re, do. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 4, 1. So this is a harmonically easy song to conceptualize. It's the major scale, the harmonized scale. If you don't know what that is, here's a lesson on the channel right here to show you how the harmonized scale works, what a major key of music is. It's very important to understand how to operate in a major key before you even consider doing anything else beyond that. Major keys are kind of the best place maybe to get started doing this. So the song, and there's a billion songs that are D, A, G, D, right? Breakfast at Tiffany's, like so many songs do this. So we could outline each one of those individual chords, but what we're going to do right now for the simple version is we're going to play this over top of that and see what it sounds like. Here we go. It's kind of a track I did with an acoustic guitar sound, and I'm going to play over top of that. I'm the second guitar part, right? The other guy's strumming the chords, and I'm trying to play something to fill in. Okay, so I just played a second guitar part to his part to fill in the gaps, but I'm not just strumming what the other guy is strumming. And I didn't branch off at all from playing just simply out of this position of the scale. So it's that simple. So I'm using my Axe-Fx FM9, the Fractal Audio FM9, and I've got a Vibrolux sound dialed in, a Fender Vibrolux. This is the go-to sound that I use for live dance music when I'm playing the weddings. Any kind of like, you know. I'm totally going to use this sound. I really think the Vibrolux was a slam dunk for Fender. It's a great sounding amp. I use this a lot for the live dance stuff. And so I'm kind of using that tone here to accentuate the Fender-ness of this whole thing. You can use your neck pickup as a single coil for that kind of strat sound, or the 4th position with the switch 1 down might be the best sounding strat sound there is. It's a really good sounding thing. So if you look at a song like Lenny, I don't have a whammy bar on this guitar. guitar, so I can't do all the whammy stuff. And I'm not, it's kind of paraphrasing. I don't remember the song necessarily exactly. I think his chords actually play differently, like major 7. Maybe it's like, no, actually, no, that's nice. It's just a major 7 chord, whatever position you want to play that in. You can do that, you can do that, whatever you want to do to play this chord. So I'm playing major chord, and then I'm playing this major pentatonic scale. Right here is E, right? So the G form of E is right here. So I can go like, Joy to the World. The major scale's right there too. So I can do like, mess around here. Learn how to do this in the second position of the pentatonic scale or the third, anywhere you want to. It's a really great thing to do. So if you want to be kind of like relaxed at the end of a long day, who doesn't love that sound? I love that sound. I love it so much that 3 of the songs on my most recent album are doing major pentatonic sounding things. Beautiful sounding. All day long. Love that sound. So like if you look at a song like Yellow Ledbetter, right? I don't know what Eddie Vedder's singing there. I don't think anybody knows he's singing there, but like it's a song that goes like, it's like B to A, right? To E. So I'm taking Yellow Ledbetter and just kind of doing things with it and expressing myself with a major pentatonic scale. So what you can do here, this is pretty cool, right? So over the E chord, which is the 1 chord in the song, so you play a B in the key of E, that's the 5 chord, and A is the 4 chord, and then E is the 1 chord, right? So what's pretty neat about this, if you look at this B chord here, it's an E form. Looks like an F chord, right? Sort of up here, but it's an E form. This note is your sus, this note is your 6, and this note is your add 9. So these 3 notes stacked on top of each other, which actually happen to be like an F sharp minor, right? No, that's not right. B, it's a C sharp minor. My apologies. So if you look at that, you can add these notes in really easily. I'm just going like those notes. That note, that note, that note, right? So like a Dancing Queen. All the same notes. You can tell it's a kind of wedding season. I had 2 weddings last weekend, and playing all these weddings, so my brain's in wedding land right now, like all these songs. It's funny how whatever you're playing at the time just seeps its way into whatever you're doing. You kind of end up kind of reliving your current workload, I suppose, I guess. So the idea then is you simply play this pentatonic scale, My Girl, and then we're going to click and drag notes. So how you do that, you either hammer on above the string like this, or you can do it like this, that, or you can do like trill underneath it. Requires some nimble fingers. It's not really that easy at first, I suppose. Here what I'm doing is a rake. I'm dragging on the strings until I pop the sound. Again, very Jimi Hendrix, very Stevie Ray Vaughan sounding. Eventually you learn how to do this, going to a different position. Here's the second position, here's the first position. So, here. So what I can do is go like here, D, I'm into the second position. And all your pentatonic scale stuff, it all adds up. So if you do minor pentatonic scale right here, I can do the same thing, make it major, by adding a D to it. Kind of became Dear Prudence there for a second into a mixed Lydian thing, but the idea though is that these notes are all part of this scale patterns you already know. And there's all kinds of neat things you could do. If you look at like this, I'm going from the G form into the E form by this pathway. Chromaticism and go like that. So I can go it's all pretty neat stuff. It's not hard to do, so you can play over top of other songs, especially if they're nice, happy major songs, right? Major key. And you can jam along with the device, and it totally works. So there's Dead Flowers again. A, G, D. I'm not really sure the chord progression of this song. I don't really know this song. He just brought it in and I was just jamming on it before I made the video. I think it does this, and I think it goes like this. I think it's the US Mail or something like this. I played this song a couple of times in my career, a long time ago. I think that's it. So now check it out. Well, that's a pretty obvious thing. Now check this out. If I go, creating a little part for it. Purposely not playing anything but D. make the chord changes too. If you wanted to. So, the idea, again, is to play this simple scale, but then learn to go hammer on the A string, hammer on the D string, hammer on the G string, the B string, whichever string I want to. That's cool sounding. You know, all the notes are in play. You superimpose, I'm playing the major scale, the D major scale, creating this wind chime sounding chord because I'm just playing major scale. Over top of this chord. G and A, just like the song. Really, really fun to do. It's so much easier than you might think it is. You have to kind of get familiar with this G form of the cage system, and then the simple pentatonic scale form starting on this note, and then start learning to add more than one string. And then you can do the opposite as well. You can play the minor pentatonic scale and add other notes to that too. It works also. If I play like, this is all pentatonic, E minor this time. Playing minor pentatonic, but I'm playing it with chord forms, doing the same concept but in minor this time. I'm doing the same thing there. I'm playing scale shapes, but playing out of the pentatonic scale, clicking and dragging those notes into minor sound. There's a video on the channel right here about how to create minor pentatonic scale chords like that. So hopefully that's going to be helpful for you. Just play the scales that you know, then add other notes to it, and you're going to find, like Jimi thing, or like so many songs do this. It's almost limitless. The idea started today because the student asked me, what should I play over top of this guy's song if he's playing this Dead Flowers song? And I'm like, okay, you just simply play this D scale, but play it in such a way that it sounds like that. Some of my favorite sounding stuff in the world does that. There's a John Mayer song called, I think it's Man on the Side. It sounds like this. There's a lot of songs. And for some reason, whatever reason, it caught my ear a long time ago. And I was like, boy, I really like the way that sounds. And I think Neil Schon from Journey kind of drove it home for me. Or maybe like, goes back to Little Wing. You know, who knows? I mean, Little Wing's great. And it's got all that same sort of click and drag stuff happening. So that's sort of where I gravitate towards going here. Now, there's other different levels I could talk about how to do this. There's one really important concept that's even beyond this. There's plenty of levels beyond this, but I always find it's important in lessons that you shouldn't try to build a window when you don't have a wall necessarily. So I don't want to go off of the topic and branch off too far. Learn this first position, major pentatonic scale, and learn how to start playing double stops. Playing the same scale. Just creating stuff with it. Likely to spend an hour just kind of hearing this sounds, and it's very satisfying to your ear, and it's a great way to calm down too. It's very relaxing, and it's a peaceful way to play the guitar. All right, well, I should get going. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and watch some videos. Tell your friends. If you have any requests, please let me know if there's something you'd like me to cover on this channel. I do the live streaming in the evenings after lessons, probably twice a week is pretty normal. I've got a lot of gigs going on right now, so I'm a little busier than normal. But please tune in the evenings, and you can always catch the replays on the channel. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.